Hey, what's up? It's Michael Pear here to talk about technical analysis today. So here you can see I'm on actually tradingview.com and I have a chart of Litecoin. So in here, so when I say technical analysis, I'm talking about reading charts, what that means. So first off, let's just talk about the orientation here. On the right side, you can see from 100 to 420. That represents the price. And then at the bottom, the x-axis, that represents time. So it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 through 17. Looking at an hourly chart here, this is a daily chart. So you can see from August to December. Look at a weekly chart. It goes back to, goes back a long way, 2016. So we're just going to use a daily chart for this purpose. So let's go in. So you see these green and red bars. So these are called Japanese candlesticks. And in the bar, they make a thing. So we're just going to we're going to concentrate on this bar right here. So you see it's a green bar where my crosshairs are. It's a green bar and it has a wick up at the top and a small wick at the bottom. So what the color of the bar represents is, so we're on a daily chart and it says that when that bar opened, so whatever day this is, it's December 17th, it opened, the bottom of that block of the represents the open price. The top of the solid portion represents the close price. Now, but you also see these sticks that are up and down. I'm gonna switch to this third candle from the right, a little bit better, a little easier to see. So you can see here has these wicks up and down. What the wicks represent is the high and low for that day. So in my crosshairs, you can see up here at the top is showing the OHLC stands for open, high, low, and close. So if I click on that bar, you can see that the high for that bar is 322.97. The low is 252.22. That corresponds to these wicks. But in terms of the body of the candle, the colored shaded area, that represents the low and then the high. Again, where the color makes a difference is it's green. So since it's green, it represents that the low will be at the bottom. I'm sorry, the open will be at the bottom and the close will be at the top. I'll repeat that again. If it's a green bar, the open is at the bottom of the shaded area. The close is at the top of the shaded area, right? You can say, okay, that makes sense. Now, again, just to review, the wicks are represents the high and the low. So that they never change. So up here is the high, close it on that particular bar, close that, I'm saying the high for the day on that bar, I'm sorry, is 322.97 and the low for that bar is 252.22. So that's what that represents. Now you can see on this chart, not only do I have green bars or green candlesticks, I also have red candlesticks. So what's the difference? The high for the wick stays the same, the low stays the same, but on a red bar, the open is at the top, the close is at the bottom. So what that signals is that this is a down day. It opened higher, it closed lower. It opened on this bar higher, it closed lower. On this bar, it opened down, it closed up. On this bar, opened down, closed a little bit up. On this last bar, opened down, closed up. Up days are green, down days are red, meaning the open price on if it's red is at the top, the close price is the bottom. Again, it's red, open, close. It's green, open, close. So now that just gives you a general introductions into candlesticks. Now let's zoom out a bit. I'm gonna go to our hourly chart because I want to talk about another important concept here. And this is what we call support and resistance. So just looking at this bar here, if you use my crosshairs just as a straight edge, right? You can see it's at 260.70. So I can see there's one point 2.34. 4 or 5 points there that a horizontal line would represent they were pierced. So let me draw a line here to make it a little bit clearer on what I'm saying. So if I draw that line across that horizontal line, if I look at that, I can say, Litecoin has hit a support area. That support area is around 260. Again, support areas are bottom portions where you have the chart that comes down, and if you use a horizontal line, you can see that it's touched that line several times. That's called support. Now, resistance is just the opposite of support. So if I show resistance on this chart, I can go here and say draw a horizontal line, and I can say, Litecoin has a resistance point from here to here. Now, if I wanted to make that a little bit more accurate, as opposed to not just getting the wicks, but getting some bodies of the candle, I can say, hey, this is a resistance point here. If I do the same with drawing this bar, pull it up a little bit more where I get more bodies into that, I can say this is a resistance point, this is a resistance point. Now, charting is not an exact science, so someone may put the resistance point there, someone else may look and say, okay, here is the support points. But horizontal support, meaning if it's resistance or support, very important, very important. So let's look at another chart. So that's crypto. Let's go down to Bitcoin USD chart. Okay, so you can see here, if I'm just looking at this chart and I say, okay, what is this chart doing? This is an hourly chart from the 11th of December to the 17th. I can look at this chart and just make some quick observations. If I want to draw a horizontal support area, I can say, okay, looks like we got decent support at 16,139. And then I can also say, okay, let's look at some resistance points. I can say a resistance point here. So if you look at this as a channel, if you were to buy at this point, sell at this point, buy again back here, sell here, buy again somewhere in this area, sell here, you could have had 1, 2, possibly 3 opportunities to buy from the 11th through the 17th. Okay, now, and these act as indicators. Again, charting is not an exact science. It doesn't mean that this, the instrument that you're looking at, in this case, Bitcoin, is going to always adhere to this. But as a chartist, you use this as a means of determining entry prices and exit prices. Again, just being able to read charts. Okay. Now, and to the point when I mentioned earlier that charting is not an exact science, you can see here on the 1215, Bitcoin broke this support, I'm sorry, this resistance point, and it went above it, and it came back down really close, but it didn't pierce that level, and it just ran away up from there. The last price is like 1703, and on this hourly chart, it's just been going pretty much straight up until it hit some area here and it kind of stalled out. So this is just support and resistance, right? Now, you see I have 3 other lines on this chart here. So let me remove these, support and resistance. Okay, move that one as well. Try to remove it, but don't seem like I can. Okay, there we go. All right, so you see I got these red, I got a red line, got a green line, got a blue line, and a gray line. What these represents, they're called moving averages. What moving averages is just that. So say you take 5 numbers that represent, so look here, so we go from the 11th through the 17th. If we was just to take the closing price per hour from the 11th, so if we was doing an hour, it'd be 24, we'll have 24 candles, take the close of those 24 candles, and we add every day up. So whatever that average is for the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. And if I divide that by each number, you can get a moving average, meaning this red line here, this is going to represent, I believe this is an 8-day. Let me double click on it. Yeah. let's see what the, I'm trying to see what the scale is, not the scale, but the price. Man, I thought I had it at. Nah, it's not showing me what I'm looking for. Okay, there we go. So my green line represents the length. So you can see it's 21. That's the unit, how many days it is adding, and it's a moving average. And what moving averages do for you, and these are just different days. So this is my 8-day. The red's 8-day. The green is a 21 day. The blue is a 50 day. And then the gray is a 200. And with that, and where I could know that if I highlight this here, you can see. So my red is 8, green is 21, blue is 50. The last one is, I guess that's a gray or black, is 200. So these moving averages, again, are just indicators to be able to help traders reach a point. So let's just look at this 8-day. So the 8-day is a shorter moving average, and it's tracking the price. So you can see, hey, I get up here, it comes back down, it breaks below, it goes back up, it comes down, and you say, you know what? Yeah, that 8-day may be something that I want to trade if I'm trading a shorter time frame. Whereas on this 21-day, you can see it moves a little slower. It doesn't have all of the ups and downs that the red line does. So my green line here, it you can see that it's moving a little slower. It's not reacting to all of the changes that the 8-day does. And then if you look at my blue line, which is my 50-day, it's even less receptive to the up and down moves, right? So you have some traders that use these moving averages as indicators, um, and I have them on a chart. I'm not a big moving average fan. Not that I don't say they work. I believe they work very well for some people. I'm just more of a horizontal support and resistance guy. Now, one last thing I'm going to talk about here is, let me go to another chart. Let me go down to the, and actually this is a good chart for this point. So you hear people talk about trends, right? So if I look at this chart, I can just say, just eyeballing it. Say if I don't even know anything about chart, can I say that is that chart going up? Is it going down? Or is it going sideways? And just looking at it briefly, I can say, okay, it's going up and to the right. So that's the trend. The trend says that it's ascending. So with that, I can draw a trend line from this point, and I'm gonna adjust it after I draw it here. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna draw this trend line, say from draw it from here to say to here, and I could use this. Let me give it a little, try to give it a little darker weight to be able to show the. Let's try to show it a little darker weight, but that's okay. But this trend line here, it allows me to see that this it's going up and to the right pretty quickly, and as a result of that, I can say the trend is up. And so sometimes you use these trend lines as well to be able to assist in your trading. Personally, I don't use trend lines that much, but I know some people do, and I just wanted to point them out as it relates to this. So just to recap, we have the right axis represents price. The left axis represents time. These are candlesticks. Green represents the up day. Red represents the down day. And then the red, green, blue, and the gray represents the moving averages. And then you can also have trend lines. So that's just a real quick recap of technical analysis. If you got any questions, hit me up. I'm Mike Pair on Twitter, MikePair. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.